dismissed every accomplishment I've made. You've talked about my father. Well, you call me an entitled millennial, I call you a carny succubus, because the dirty secret about you, the dirty secret is you need this generation more than it needs
What up,
you.
y'all? It's KMB, the Sexy Ninja, in the place to be for a Paper Saber universe, and this is the New World Podcast, brother. Oh, WrestleMania weekend is here. And we're talking about SmackDown, April 18th, 2025. Wade and Joe on commentary. We're finally in Las Vegas. The wait is over. Here we are. And we started off with LA Knight attacking Tama Tonga in the parking lot, setting up a match later on. You know, that's how it goes. And Solo's pissed, and, you know, Tama Tonga's hand was smashed by LA Knight. But we started off with we started off in the ring with Seth freaking Rollins sitting down, you know, like Punk. Oh my gosh, this promo was great. You know, and mapping out the history with Paul, with Roman, with Punk, and saying like, yeah, you know, when you guys chanted his name for 10 years, he came back. But not to this ring. So somebody else cut him a big fat paycheck. And I'm like, whoa, you want to know when he came back here? Same motivation. He got a big fat paycheck. And I was like, man, you know, it's funny. It's like, I really want to be on Rollins' side, you know, because he is speaking the truth. But at the same time, Punk has spoken the truth. He's never lied about anything. He's like, yeah, that's what happened. And I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to make money. So, you know, it's just this back and forth banter between these two, which I just absolutely love. And Seth breaking down his relationship with Roman and how Paul is the one that brought in the Shield to be CM Punk's aide in any situation. And he mentioned Dean Ambrose and everything. And he's going on and on and on. I just really enjoyed this promo. I really love Seth freaking Rollins, man. I'm excited for their triple threat match that's going to happen, and they're main eventing WrestleMania, and that's tonight. Holy cow, man. It's just crazy. It took all this to build to here WrestleMania 41. We have the big Andre the Giant Battle Royale. My wife was like, I thought this was on the pre-show of WrestleMania. I was like, well, it was on the main show, if you remember. Then it went to the pre-show, and then it just kind of went to SmackDown because it's the night before and everything like that. It usually happens, and they have the Hall of Fame, you know, the speeches and stuff. But yeah, so then that was after SmackDown. I got to catch a little bit of that. But I was more interested, like, who's going to win this Battle Royale? And, of course, El Grande Americano had to make his presence known in this match. That was fun. Because poor Chad Gable earlier got eliminated. Poor Chad, not going, no Chad, no love for Chad. But his homie El Grande Americano came out. But it came down to Melo and Andrade. Back and forth. This is a battle royal I actually enjoyed. It's usually a very hit or miss. Doesn't matter if it's WWE. Doesn't matter if it's AEW. It's just a hit or miss when it comes to battle royales. But Melo and Andrade were the last two, and these two ripped it up in the ring, man. And I got to say, Melo winning was something I did not expect. I was expecting Andrade to win. You know, I feel like Andrade's being slept on too much. Melo as well. You know, I saw the internet blowing up, be like, oh, my God, Melo won something. Especially being on the main roster. He's just been losing. And he's been losing more being with Miz. No offense to Miz, but man, I hate that Melo don't Miz or him. I just get Melo away from Miz. Let Miz go be Miz somewhere else. As much as I love the Miz, but Melo won the Andre the Giant Battle Royale. Then we go into Bianca. You know, she has a lot going on. We have Rhea and Io in the ring at some point. Then we got Jade, and then we got Naomi. But Naomi comes out telling Bianca, like, I blew up your DMs, man. I said, got your voicemail. Oh, this and that. You never called me back. And I'm like, oh, this is interesting. Why are we tying this into the triple threat? And poor Io's over here like, oh, Oh, really? Well, of course, Naomi gets to the ring. Then here comes Jade. Bianca steps in Jade's way. Like, no, I don't want my friends to fight. Blah, 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 blah. No fighting. And Jade don't care. And then Rhea gets in her face and is like, hey, this isn't about you. And here comes Naomi pushing Jade into Rhea, then Rhea into Bianca. And then it ends up in a big old fight. And out they way on the outside of the ring. And Io's just standing there like, well, I guess it's my time to fly. And she does right into everybody. Io's like, yeah, I'm still the champ, baby. So I was just more interested in the fact that, yes, Bianca still has story with Jade and Naomi, but I found it interesting to tie it within this promo, unless you were just trying to get everything done at once. I was like, the focus should be Bianca, Io, and Rhea. But putting Jade and Naomi just felt like a move to be like, yeah, just throw them all in there. WrestleMania, baby. Then our WWE Tag Team Championships here on the line. The Street Profits against Motor City Machine Guns. You talk about a back-and-forth battle that ends in a goddamn DQ. Tired of these DQs. Why? Because DIY comes out, attacks, boom, bell, ref rings the bell. They steal the titles, and they're like, ha, look at us, we steal the titles. But this all ends up going backstage where Nick Aldis is like, I'm tired of this. So he didn't announce it for WrestleMania, which I was kind of sad because I was like, well, the other tag team titles are on the line. But okay, why? Fine. What's that? Whatever. But next week, a TLC match. The Street Profits versus Motor City Machine Guns versus DIY for those tag team titles. They'll be hanging above the ring. I'm like, man, I want a TLC match at WrestleMania. But the card's already stacked. Then we have Randy Orton. Poor Kevin Owens had to get shelved because of the fact of his neck. And Randy goes in the ring. He's like, man, my dad was at the first WrestleMania. I debuted 20 years later. Then, WrestleMania means so much to me. And I am issuing an open challenge. I will be at WrestleMania, boots on, everything. I will be ready for whoever walks through that curtain. So we have an open challenge for WrestleMania. And I was like, who? And if it's Nick Aldis, oh my God, I'm going to flip a lid. I'm going to jump around. I'm going to be like, yay. And he says, Randy's I'm going to have a little bit of baby oil on it. I'm like, me too, Randy. Me too. But there we go, man. Randy is issued an open challenge for WrestleMania. So he's going to get his moment. Then we had a few more matches. Zelina versus Chelsea, which was okay. Zelina got the win. Eventually she's going to face Chelsea for that United States Championship. LA and Solo, which ended up breaking down where Nick Aldis, because of course Tom and, Jacob Fatu got out there, and then Braun Strowman. And then it made it a tag team match. LA Knight, Braun Strowman versus Solo and Jacob. LA and Braun got the win. Then we had a LWO match versus American Made. LWO got the win, but I wanted to get right down. This is why I'm surpassing these things. I wanted to get down to the meat and potatoes. Not only did we start it off strong with Seth freaking Rollins, we ended here with John Cena and Cody Rhodes. Night 2, main event. Sunday. These two will battle. John, nice haircut, dressed in all black. He's a bad man now, John. And he goes at Cody, and of course, this is something I'm excited for. And somebody asked me, "Are you as excited for this WrestleMania as you were for 40?" Yes and no. WrestleMania Goes Hollywood a couple years ago was like big. Then he lost. Then we had to see Cody build himself back up to face Roman one more time. And everything, like Rock was in the mid. Like they had like that weird WrestleMania kickoff show that was like in January or something like that, where Rock slapped Cody, or Cody slapped Rock. You know what I mean? Or Cody mentioned his family. Rock slapped him. and he ended in a big old thing, and then Seth, and everything was just tying together so well, and you had Punk, and Punk wasn't at this WrestleMania, but he caught, we'll see how this WrestleMania plans out, but I am excited. I am very excited, and I got Stand and Deliver on top of all that, so as I mentioned last week, the last podcast, I am going to do a WrestleMania weekend podcast on Monday. Just tied up with a lot of things this week, but I want to watch the show, enjoy the shows, write my notes and stuff like that. So I will break down WrestleMania weekend with Stand and Deliver, WrestleMania Night 1, WrestleMania Night 2, just because everything's just kind of being thrown at me this weekend. We got big stuff going on at the day job and whatnot. So that podcast will drop Monday. I'm glad I got to talk about SmackDown, and I really enjoyed Cena Cody. And Cody's like, I don't even have to wrestle after Cena mentions I don't even have to wrestle. Does a little thumb in the eye, and I thought this was a little cheesy because the way it played out, he pokes him in the eye, Cody, then Cena picks up Cody, and then he's holding him there for a second, then Cody gets down, then Cody gets him, and he's laying there, and Cena sells it. He goes, I'm sleepy now. I'm sleepy. I'm so sleepy. Because Cena's down. And I think this ended a little short because they showed this like over and over again for like the last 5 minutes. But Cody and John Cena is going to be a good one. It's going to be a good one. This was a long SmackDown, though. April 18, 2025, Wade, Joe, and commentary in Las Vegas, Nevada at the T-Mobile Arena. Then we're going to WrestleMania. Moment of the night. Before I get my match of the night. Cena and Cody. I got to say moment of the night. We had some Tiffy. Of course, But match of the night, Melo winning the Andre the Giant Battle Royale. I thought it was cool. I was like, all right, let's have him win more and get him away from Miz. But that's it. That's all. I give the show a solid 3 out of 5, especially being a go home. No, you know what? Moment of the night goes to Seth because he really laid out that promo really well. Second to that, Cena and Cody. Match of the night, Melo winning the Battle Royale. Drop those comments below. Hit that like. Hit the subscribe. Share it with your grandma. Show the bum down at Walmart. Remember, I gave this a 3 out of 5. And remember also, the New World Podcast is for life,
boy,
brother.
When the whole world watched you saunter on the Oscars stage, butt-ass naked, for the people that you run errands for now.